A recent discussion about Amazon's category system and everything else, or even just trying to find what you want, got me thinking a little bit more. When I find somebody I like, I'll add them to my, to follow them list on Amazon, so that way I know when more of their stuff's coming out. But I've noticed even with trying to do unusual search word algorithms and whatnot, a lot of times Amazon like, oh, you bought Ansbach and Cole? Here's another 30 to 40 people that will constantly show up in your feed, but they won't showcase up and coming people that are just launching too. They'll constantly stick you in a pigeonhole to be like, well, yeah, you like this particular one. Oh, you bought Weber? Here's the same 30 to 40 people we'll recommend over and over again. What is a reader to do to get out of that shuffle? Because again, I'm trying my hardest to experiment, and in some word combinations, I'll do something like a space opera, hope, optimism minus romance, or and sometimes it only shows like sponsored people. But I will keep trying really unusual combinations, like a space opera uplifted cybernetics. A bunch of different like keywords strung together, and then the minus the romance, because again, romance is mostly erotica right now. So I'm beginning to think that yes, finding people you want will mostly come down to curation of blogs, forums, you know, chat groups, even finding a little bit on Twitter. But again, with Twitter, it's so outnumbered with writers versus readers, and the bigger, people with a lot of pull, whether it's one side or another, they'll also spam the same 30 to 40 things. I know I have favorites that I mention every once in a while on Twitter, but I am actively trying to find, like, hey, this is new in my feed. I've never seen this person before. Let me pop them up. Because even though sci fi horror isn't my main wheelhouse, it's a wheelhouse I enjoy every once in a while. I'll even pop up results on there on Twitter for that too. And, oh boy, yeah, because there is some genres that there's going to be a bubble that'll burst on Amazon eventually. It's coming. I don't know exactly when it's going to hit, but it's there. It's going to hit at some point, because without finding, you know, you can have your favorites, but I want to be able to discover new people too. So, makes me wonder. It's like maybe we do need another type of Goodreads setup, but more curated towards um, less trafficked genres in terms of overall whale sales. Because, yeah, um, the floating ab books and the monster harem books do take up a large chunk of everything across all genre splats for the most part. I'll even check. I'll check later to see if westerns are affected too, because again, the tag abuse does derail a whole lot of genre picks for the top 100, and that pisses me off too. So I'm trying everything under the sun to basically ignore most of those books to try to provide other genre readers something they might find interesting. And there's also overabundance of got rip-offs, so I ignore those as pretty much the standard. Like, I'll just outright dismiss them, because it's again, it's not the type of stuff I want to curate. So there you go. In fact, I'm just looking now at, like, say, just Galaxy's Edge stuff, and then sponsored products related to this item. I've already seen them. Let's see how many people I've already seen in my feed. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. Yeah, of these 13 pages, I'm just slowly going through here right now. Half of these are already have been in my feed before as recommendations. I'm trying to remember who said it a while back, but I wish there was a way that you could shuffle out recommendations that have already been basically presented before. It's not that I don't want to read those books, it's just I've seen them already, and some of them are still on my wish list to get later. So, yeah, maybe we do need more Silver Empire type setups where have a separate, page ready to showcase what your overall stable of books are. DMR Books does this and a couple others, and then you can have your links on Amazon if you want, and even Paula Ritchie's indie database there. She's added quite a few more since I last looked at it, so that's one way to also get more eyeballs onto newer people. So, yeah, I think that's what readers really do need. We need somehow to find websites, blogs, and everything else that will showcase and curate a particular set of books or particular themes or subset of stuff. It doesn't always have to be in the same wheelhouse, but it helps people get a bit shoulders ahead of the same top 100 that you see constantly because, yeah, a lot of readers like me are binge readers, but I realize this is also hurting a lot of newer people. As I do more research into how to launch books and blurbs and everything else, um, in a very way, whether it's on traditional publishing side or indie publishing, the ones that have the money to do sponsorships will get seen as the loudest, even if their stuff isn't what you're looking for. I'm even toying with the idea that I could even try my own Kickstarter or Indiegogo at some point. Uh, I'd have a very low threshold, like $500. And honestly, when I do get to that point, I'm I'm already saving up funds for editing and proper covers. I have some ideas of who. We'll see at the end. Because again, this is still a long way off. I'm going to try my best to finish the whole series in like about 2 years. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. I'm going at a pretty good clip right now. Because if I can get down to like a book every 3 months, let's see, yeah, like 4 books a year, it might be doable. If I can get down to 2 months, that'd be even better. But again, small steps, small steps. The fact that I'm pretty much like about a halfway through book one, even though it's not all up on the blog just yet. I'm trying to maximize, my output and then prep stuff and then try to release it, in bigger clumps to see if that works out better, to write a couple of chapters, outline a couple more, and then release them in like quicker succession. I'm just, experimenting. That's what writing is all about. It's like just see what works for you. No pressure, no pressure. Oh boy. But now that I think about it, even releasing one book and getting started on the next one, that's a pretty big accomplishment, I think. Because again, I should have told my younger self, just start. You're in high school. You have more free time right now. Do it, do it, do it. Because yeah, right now, what free time I do have, I have to fight myself. It's like, man, do I read? Do I reread a favorite? You know, Mr. Delarose, make sure those people get together in the end with the third book. Okay. Or do I find other people and new people to look at? Or yeah, and not actually a good resource right now is I've found some more people through anthologies, especially that chicken anthology. Like I'm eyeballing that thing. That's gonna be picked up next payday. Hmm. Yeah, that should be fun. I'm thinking since this thing's gonna run a little bit long, I'll probably put it up on my blog. Because again, I want to. Oh, take a drink. I want to basically do stuff on YouTube for certain things, just to try to, have an active library. And I think I'm doing pretty good. I've got. Oh God, I didn't realize I had that many videos up already. So yeah, my channel's growing nicely, I think. Even though like about it's looking like the analytics says most of my views come from non-subs, but I have a pretty good amount of views so far for even just a tiny channel. And I only really started outputting stuff like middle of August, and I've already gotten 454 views. Watch time is currently at 16.5 hours, and I got gained plus 20 subs since in this period. I'm up to 28 subscribers now. So there we go. Again, I think part of the problem with the homogenization of BookTube is even little channels, if they don't get enough attention, they're like, oh, I'm going to give up. It's like, no, like, this many views I got, even though 3/4 of it is from non-subs, that's fine. That's fine to me. That means somebody's looking at it, whether they're subbed or not. Doesn't make that useless. That's more eyeballs on something. Heck, even the Duty and Honor video got a little bit of traction in some comments, so heck yeah. And yes, even representation doesn't matter. Did fairly well. Um, Make characters, people. Make somebody likable that you want to follow around and see where their adventure goes. Because, like I've said before on the blog, I'm just tired of following, oh, gray morality soup. I am pissed off all the time. I am a drunkard, or I am addicted to drugs, or any other like it's a I'm a scruffy rogue that will help save the day. Moral compass? What's that? As long as I save the day in the end, woo! Yeah, that's the reason why even little things like Hell's Rejects from Forbes worked for me, because Abby was a genuinely good person that tried her best to save everyone, even though she was getting the short end of the stick. Eventually her perseverance, which is a virtue, paid off, and I enjoyed following her specifically. And sure, most of her crew were like ragtag, kind of like what you would expect to find in like a charming rogue kind of way, except for the handful that did the whole it's the betrayal part. But that's okay. He ended up making the big difference with his characters. He ended up making them likable to where you wanted to follow them, and then he made the villains, hey, you can boo hiss at them. There you go. But yeah, just kind of get back on track with Amazon's setup. It needs to be addressed. They're gonna just hit a point where it's like ET landfill from the Atari days, and then you know where else will I wonder what's gonna happen with the Fallout. I mean, it could reset stuff to where it's more manageable and people will be able to find things again, but I won't hold my breath.